Scroll number 6. Where I am is where I must be. When you let your attention go, even briefly, do not imagine that you will simply pick it back up when you choose. Epictetus was direct about this. What forms in the gap is not nothing. What forms is a habit, first of not attending and then of deferring. And what you defer, you eventually abandon. Not because you decided to abandon it, but because the deferring became the habit, and the habit became the life. He said, "Every fault committed today makes all that follows worse. Not more difficult, worse. The damage is not to the moment, it is to the pattern. I have deferred attention to my own life more times than I can count. I will attend to this tomorrow. I will be present next week. I will begin properly when the conditions are better. And in the meantime, what? In the meantime, the inattention is the condition I am training myself into. Every day I defer, I become more practiced at deferring. That is the thing I am building, whether I call it that or not. The life I want is not somewhere ahead of me. It is the quality of attention I bring to what is here. Where I am is where I must be." Epictetus asked, "Is there any part of life to which attention does not extend?" He was not asking about philosophy. He was asking about the carpenter, the ship's captain, the singer. Does the carpenter work better by not attending? Does the captain navigate better by looking away? What single thing, is done better by a person who is somewhere else in their head? There is no answer to that question. Not one. And yet I have spent considerable portions of my life somewhere other than where I was. Eating while planning. Working while worrying. Speaking while rehearsing the next thing I would say. Present in body and absent in every way that actually counts. And the cost of that absence was not paid in dramatic ways. It was paid in the slow accumulation of a life that was always about to begin. This is what Epictetus meant. Not that we must be rigid or humorless or incapable of rest. He said, if you choose to play, play with attention. If you choose to sing, sing with attention. The instruction is not to do more. It is to be where you are while you are there. Where I am is where I must be. I have one life, not a practice version and a real version, not a temporary arrangement that will be replaced by something more serious later. This is the actual thing. The conversation I am in right now is not a waiting room for a more important conversation. The work I am doing today is not a rehearsal for work that will matter more. The person in front of me is not a placeholder for someone I will give my full attention to later. The life that is always about to begin is not a life. It is a series of deferred moments, each one promising that the next will be the real one. Epictetus had no patience for this. He said, if it is good to attend tomorrow, it is better to attend today, so that you are also capable of attending tomorrow and the day after, and do not defer it again to the third day. The deferral is not a pause. It is a practice, and what you practice, you become. Epictetus said we ought to keep the soul directed to this mark, to pursue nothing external, nothing that belongs to others, nothing outside the will. What is inside the will is exactly this, the quality of attention I bring to whatever is in front of me. That quality is entirely mine. No circumstance determines it. No external condition can remove it. It is the one thing I have complete authority over in every situation without exception. When I bring my full attention to this moment, I am exercising the only sovereignty I actually possess. Not sovereignty over outcomes. Not sovereignty over what others do or say or decide. Sovereignty over where I am. Sovereignty over whether I am here, actually here, or somewhere in the future managing a problem that does not yet exist. The Stoics called this the proper use of appearances, meeting what is actually in front of you rather than what you imagine might arrive. Attention is not a mood. It is not something that comes and goes with the quality of the circumstances. It is a discipline. And like all disciplines, it is built by repetition, by choosing again and again to be in the place where I am. Where I am is where I must be. Tomorrow I will begin to attend. That sentence, Epictetus said, is the same as saying, today I will be absent. Today I will let other things govern my mind. Today I will give away the only thing I truly own. And then tomorrow comes and it is today again, and the same sentence is waiting. I will not say it. Not today. Today I am here. Today I bring what I have to what is in front of me. Not because I have solved everything that came before. Not because the future is settled. But because this moment is the only moment that is actually available to me. The past is closed. The future is not yet open. What is open, what has always been open, is here. Now, there is a kind of attention that does not strain. It is not the attention of someone gripping hard, trying to prevent their mind from wandering by force. It is the attention of someone who has decided, simply and without drama, that where they are is where they will be. That the thing in front of them deserves the full version of them, not the distracted version, not the rehearsing version, not the planning version. The full version. Here. Now. That decision is available to me in every moment. It requires no special circumstance, no perfect conditions, no resolution of every outstanding problem first. It requires only the choice, made quietly, made now, to be where I am. Not perfectly, not without interruption, but with the steady intention of a person who has decided that here is enough. Not tomorrow, not when it is better. No. Where I am is where I must be. Where I am is where I must be. Where I am is where I must be.